Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Past Gas. This week, we're talking about one of the most infamous tracks in the world. It can only be the Nürburgring. That's right, the Green Hell. We're talking its entire history from early beginnings in the early 1900s till today. We're talking some legendary races that happened here, legendary crashes, and everything in between. Sit back and relax. Let's go racing. Before it had guardrails, before it had gravel traps, before it was something you could book on a track day website, the Nürburgring was pure fear. Jackie Stewart, three-time Formula One world champ, was the first to call it the Green Hell, and he wasn't just being poetic. Stewart and his fellow racers ripped their way through the rain, through the fog, without safety crews positioned at every mile, in cars that could kill them at any second. To race at the Nürburgring meant memorizing all 170 turns by heart. Because, as Stewart put it so eloquently, if you forget one corner at Nürburgring, you die. Since those days, the Nürburgring has been modernized, repaved, and made safer, but that doesn't mean it's relinquished its label as a monster. No other track blends danger, history, and hype quite like it. It still punishes mistakes, it still demands respect. So how did a remote stretch of German forest become the most feared and revered track on the planet? Today on Past Gas, the past, present, and future of the Nürburgring. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Past Gas. I am your host, Nolan Sykes, joined by my co-hosts, Bart Bidlingmeyer.
You should have killed me when you had the chance.
And Joe Weber.
I'm in a part of hell I don't even recognize.
A hell of your own design.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I just reformed it.
You've created your own prison.
Yeah. I've created a prison of my own green hell.
Wow. Starting off on an optimistic and cheery note, I see. So today we're talking the Nürburgring, probably, would you say the most famous racetrack in the world? Nürburgring?
I'd say so.
Indianapolis, maybe?
Daytona, but I think
Daytona.
As far as like names, but as far as respect and holy shit, I think it's hands down Nürburgring.
I'm on a subreddit that's like, what's this country? Or I don't know what it's called, but
just admit it, you're on a GeoGuessr subreddit.
I do, yeah. I used to be a huge GeoGuessr. Yeah. I can pinpoint anyone's location.
You used to, just by putting the address.
But there's a lot of times where people like take a picture of a sticker of the Nürburgring on someone's car, and they'll be like, "What's this country?"
Oh, yeah. Okay, it does look like a country, I guess.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
I've always wanted to go there. This has been like a dream destination for me for a long time.
Mm-hmm. I think for many people, I think if you're listening to this podcast, it's probably on your bucket list in some capacity.
Yeah.
I remember like my first exposure to the Green Hell being like, I think on Gran Turismo. Was it in Gran Turismo?
Yeah. I used to do endurance races on it with my roommate when I first moved out.
Tony Baldi's first track day.
Oh yeah.
Was that the
Nürburgring? Yeah.
So was that crazy. When he went to work for Fanatec?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It might have been before that. I know he lived out there when he worked for Fanatic, but
is that how you say it?
He said, yeah. They say you're supposed to say Fanatic.
Fanatic. Gran Turismo 4 actually it wasn't in Gran Turismo 3, but Gran Turismo 4, my buddy Andrew had it on his system, and we would be scrolling through the maps and just see how long it was and be like, whoa. We're like 11 or 12 years old going, oh my God, is this a real place? What is this?
And the elevation changes.
Yeah.
And
it's super cool. I've got a question for y'all.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you had the chance to go, let's say no one else is at the Nürburgring and you get a car of your choice, what would you take? What'd you hoon?
Maybe like a 911 GT3.
Oh, that's a classic one.
That's like it's really fast, but also like, you wouldn't want your first time at a track to be in a car that's completely unhinged. Like immediately
maybe a Grand Caravan.
A Dodgebon?
Yeah.
What about you, Joe?
Well, I think 911 is too much power for me. I think I would absolutely go off track with that. I'd probably take like a Lotus.
A Lotus? Have
Just
you ever sat
something
in one
like
of those?
nimble.
A Lotus Elise? Have you ever sat in
No,
one?
we are actually taking one up to Car Week.
Oh, shit.
In August, so I'm excited. Not an Elise, but I think like
The Evora?
Evora.
That's
Not EV one.
I didn't even know
Emira? Evija.
Avia. I don't know.
Anyways, I'd take any Lotus around.
That'd be cool. Yeah, it's a great pick.
Yeah.
Great pick.
We'll be right back after these messages. This is an ad by BetterHelp. These days, it feels like there's advice for everything. Cold plunges, gratitude journals, screen detoxes. But how do you know what actually works for you? As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/passgas. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/passgas. This podcast is sponsored by Upside. One of the smartest apps you can have on your phone in 2025 is Upside. Upside gives you the power to earn more on the stuff you buy all the time. Whether you're filling up your tank, going out to eat, or shopping for groceries, the Upside app lets you earn cash back on every purchase. So download the free Upside app and use promo code GAS to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. That's an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas using promo code GAS. How fitting. This podcast is sponsored by Shopify. Starting a small business is difficult, to say the least. You got to do everything by yourself. So finding the right tool that not only helps you out, but simplifies everything can be such a game changer. For millions of businesses, that tool is Shopify. Turn your big business idea into with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/gas. Go to shopify.com/gas. Shopify.com/gas. Now back to the show.
Okay, here's the question.
Okay.
If you know you're not gonna die, what would you pick?
Okay, Ferrari F 2004, which is one of like their Formula One.
Yeah,
cars.
the Formula One,
yeah.
the Schumacher one, right?
Yeah.
That's a good one. Damn. Okay, in that vein, I'd probably take a Lotus 79.
Ooh, okay.
That's fun.
Nice.
What about you, Bart?
I'd ride a bike. I don't mean like a motorcycle. I mean like just a.
I'm sure, dude. That's a good ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your Strava would be insane. I bet they do cycling there. They must.
I bet they would shut it down because they shut it down for concerts, which I didn't know, which we'll learn in this script.
Like they put the bands in the back of a truck and drive the whole thing, and you have to drive. You have to like keep up in your car.
That would actually be really fun.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah. No, they call
Got plenty of ideas.
Yeah, that's very Fury Road.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I think the author of the script called it the infield of the track, but the infield's basically a whole county.
Yeah. Well, I think they probably do the concerts at the Grand Prix part of the track. So there's like the proper or the big track that we know, and then there's the Grand Prix track, which they used to run Formula One there, and they still run sports car racing and stuff like that.
And that's like
there's
5 kilometers or something.
It's
like
really
that.
it's short. Yeah, it's like a normal track length, and then it links into the big course. I think there's some series that run they'll run on that part of the track and then go out on the big course. At the 24 hours, they do both layouts. Okay, yeah. So during the 24 hours of Le Mans, the 24 hours of Nürburgring, rather, they run both courses because there's just like 2 little snippets that connect both tracks.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this script.
Me too. It's a long one, so let's get into it. In the same vein of today's high-profile circuits built to raise national profiles, the Nürburgring was also shaped by politics. Are we going to talk about Nazis? Okay. But,
It's unavoidable. We talk about car stuff in Germany.
all right. But unlike places like Abu Dhabi or Jeddah, it didn't come from boardrooms or big budgets. It came out of war, economic crisis, and damaged identity that Germany wished to replace. Oh boy, here we go. In 1907, Italian driver Felice Nazzaro stunned German fans by winning the Kaiserpreis in a Fiat on the roads of Taunus near Frankfurt. The loss and that's a mouthful.
Honest?
Taunus. Taunus? Taunus?
Like the Ford Taunus?
Is it
Ford Taunus?
No, that's a real car. It's a European
Isn't it Tunis?
model. Yeah.
Tunis?
Tunis?
Yeah. I don't know.
Your guess is as good as mine, buddy.
I think it's I don't know.
It's a
Maybe
German,
look it up.
Taunus.
Anyway, the loss embarrassed
Take all of that out.
No, keep it in. Keep it in.
Take it out.
The loss embarrassed the German racing elite. When Kaiser Wilhelm II demanded to know what had gone wrong, his advisors pointed not to talent or engineering, but geography. Germany didn't have a homegrown track worthy of international competition. Talk of building a world-class circuit near the town of Adenau, nestled in the rugged Eifel Mountains, gained momentum. But then came World War I, and with it, racing and just about everything else ground to a halt. Germany emerged from the war with their economy in shambles. The currency was nearly worthless, and mass unemployment plagued the country. Plans for a new racetrack limped along, derailed time and again by a lack of funding. Still, supporters believed in the vision. One of those who believed was Dr. Otto Kreutz, head of the Allgemeiner Deutscher Automobilclub, or ADAC.
That was great pronunciation.
Thanks, dude. Kreutz saw the track as more than just a sports venue. He pitched it as a public works project, one that could help revive Germany's automotive industry and put thousands of men back to work. It's all about framing. Right?
Yeah.
It's all about...
I mean, that's politics.
That is.
It's like, I want to do something selfish, but I have to present it as public works that will help social welfare.
Exactly, dude. On September 27th, 1925, the first stone was laid. Over the next 2 years, some 2,500 workers carved a circuit into the hillsides of the Eifel Mountains. It was a massive undertaking, and it gave the people of the region both a job and a purpose. The Nürburgring opened with 2 circuits. You had the Nordschleife, or the North Loop, stretching a brutal 14.18 miles, and the Südschleife, or South Loop, a shorter 4.81 mile course. When combined, they formed a 17.58 mile monster, one of the longest, most demanding tracks ever conceived. Though that full configuration saw limited racing use after 1931, the individual loops became legendary in their own right.
I don't think any of the modern records count because they're not doing the 17-mile loop.
Yeah. So the task of building these courses fell to 4 different construction crews, with the Nordschleife being the first to be completed in 1926, followed by the Südschleife and the steep Steilstreck hill climb in 1927. The final bill came to 15 million marks, which is about $77.5 million in today's U.S. money.
That's not actually that bad. $77 million to make 17 miles of track with no, they had to clear brush, forest. Yeah,
not too bad. The funding was drawn from both the German government and the city of Cologne. A nationwide contest was held to name the new track. The winning entry came from a retired government official in Bad Godesberg. The winning name Nürburgring comes from the Nürburg Castle, a 12th century fortress perched on one of Eiffel's highest peaks. On a clear day, you can see all the way to the spires of Cologne Cathedral, 85 kilometers away. That's far.
You can smell the city from...
Yeah, and you expect me to believe the Earth's round?
In June of 1927, the track roared to life. A staggering 28.625 kilometer long road of hills, forest, blind corners, and brutal elevation changes. On June 18th and 19th, it hosted its first official events, a motorcycle race, and the next day, a race that crowned Rudolf Caracciola as its first great champion. The ADAC's design was intentionally pragmatic. Germany needed a testing ground, not just a racing venue. The track's design mimicked the kind of roads manufacturers were building cars for: narrow, uneven, full of unpredictable bends and poor surface conditions.
And oil slicks and banana peels all over.
If your car could survive the Nordschleife, it could probably survive anything. Over the years, the ring developed its own vocabulary. In 1933, one corner in particular earned legendary status: the Carousel. Rudolf Caracciola, already a Nürburgring icon, started dipping his inside wheel into a concrete drainage ditch to help sling his car through the tight turn. The move shaved time off his lap times and turned a rough patch of track into a strategic corner. Eventually, the section was paved with concrete entirely, evolving into the bank that we know today.
I actually don't like the carousel because I feel like I don't hit it well in driving games. Yeah, I don't really know how to like hit it.
I don't know either. I'm not one of those Nürburgring.
Nürburgring.
I'm not a Nürburgring, right? There's like a certain subsect, I think, of sim racers that focus exclusively on the Nürburgring.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. Tony was one of them.
Yeah.
Tony Balda. I'm not one of those guys. Yeah. Actually, Eddie, it was so funny. We had a racing sim set up here at the shop, and we had Project Cars 2.
Right.
That was like the only game we had loaded on there. And Eddie every other day would like load up that track with is it the 962 Porsche? The crazy
they all did that.
Yeah.
Kanan took
him and Kanan.
track there, that car, the 962, on the Scottish track.
Yeah,
with
there's
the
like
bridge.
the Highlands one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they did that every day.
Yeah.
You'd be like, Eddie'd be in there, and you'd be like, all right, I'm going home. All right.
In 1935, the Nürburgring hosted what many still consider one of the greatest motor races ever run, the German Grand Prix. This was a full-blown Nazi propaganda spectacle, which makes me feel really great that I said it was one of the greatest motor races ever run.
As a race, not as an ideological checkpoint.
We're not talking about like a human race.
Yeah.
Much like the 1936 Berlin Olympics, the regime saw the race as a chance to showcase what they saw as German superiority. The state poured immense resources into the effort, investing up to 250,000 Reichsmarks annually into Mercedes-Benz and Auto Union to develop unbeatable machines. We talked about Nazis' their racing program, right?
Yeah, that was one of the like before episode 100.
Really? Was that long ago?
The Silver Arrows.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about Bernd Rosemeyer and Rudolf Caracciola and their quest to, I don't know what they were trying to hit, but they got up to 268 miles per hour.
They were trying to hit like 400 kilometers an hour or something like that.
In like
on the Autobahn.
1931 or something like that, or 1932, but then one of them died.
The result of this investment was a field of terrifyingly powerful silver-bodied beasts. They were streamlined, supercharged monsters capable of speeds that seemed impossible. They were fast, loud, and unstable. The men who drove them weren't so much fearless as they were undeterred by the very real prospect of death. More than 300,000 spectators crowded into the forested hills of the Eifel Mountains to watch these cars take on their rivals from Italy. You had Alfa Romeo and Maserati. Manfred von Brauchich, driving for Mercedes, dominated early, and the propaganda machine prepared to celebrate.
Isn't it von Brauch?
Sure.
I'm trying to think of how I've heard it said, because I've heard this story.
Brauchitsch. So Brauch. I don't know.
That's a lot of consonants.
It's so many consonants. Bless you, Audrey.
Oh, Audrey said it correct.
On lap 2, Caracciola glanced over his shoulder and saw Nuvolari flying off the track at Bergwerk. The Italian didn't crash, but he rejoined in 6th place and immediately started charging. His pace was relentless, but Tazio quickly caught up. So Tazio Nuvolari.
Yeah.
Handling, it turned out, was the secret to success. Tazio Nuvolari's Alfa Romeo was better balanced and easier on the tires, despite weighing nearly the same as the Mercedes. Even more frustrating for the Germans, the Mercedes ran larger rear tires and still wore them out faster. Team Mercedes had done some math during practice. Cutting lap times from 12 minutes 15 to 10:45 increased tire wear by 50 to 60%. Push below 10 minutes 45 seconds, and the wear rate doubled up to 150%. Fast laps came at a high price. Up front, von Brauchitsch had built a commanding lead and came out of the pits on fresh tires with everything to lose. He threw down a blistering new lap record, 10 minutes and 32 seconds, and kept pushing. But those fast laps took a toll. Team boss Alfred Neubauer knew it and waved frantically from the pits, urging him to slow down. He didn't. On the final lap, with just over a half a minute in hand over Nuvolari, von Brauchitsch's tires gave out spectacularly. Nuvolari swept by to steal the win in what became the first of the most poetic upsets in racing history.
And this was this last lap as Nuvolari's been catching up from 6th, so now he's in 2nd. Right before, it was one of the few times, because the course is so large, that the audience, everyone watching, could see that this is right before the last lap.
Yeah.
Nuvolari is catching up. So they see the 2 cars and they're like, holy shit, this is a race.
Yeah.
And before that, because it's like you see one go by.
Yeah.
You see what, and then this time that you could see both cars. And so the crowd is now getting like, oh my God, is he going to do it?
Yeah.
Dude, that must have been, from a viewing perspective, especially at that time with the cars that would break down, and also like the parity between the cars probably wasn't super close. So you're just like in the woods, sitting.
Right. Right.
I think the race started.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're scheduled to start 7 minutes. Yeah, and then you hear, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what was that? Oh, cool. Okay. 10 minutes later. Should we just go? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool. That was cool.
I get it.
That's enough.
And then they like leave the gate, and then they hear everyone cheering. They're like, "Oh no!" Ah!
Von Brauchitsch limped home in 5th place, driving on the rims, passed in the closing meters by Stuck, Gracchiola, and Rosemeyer. The Reich wanted a symbol of German dominance. What they got instead was a furious little Italian in a borrowed car making history.
So now, do you feel better? Do you feel better about saying it's a good race?
I do. I do feel better. I feel better.
Also, let's not forget about Mussolini, because that's who.
He
Nuvolari
did invent fascism. That's right. Yeah.
Right. But also, the Germans. So when someone wins, you play the anthem of that country.
Yeah.
The Germans were so confident that they would take this race. They didn't have a version. They didn't have the Italian national
Oh my
anthem.
God.
But Nuvolari carried a record with him. What? And gave it to them to play.
Oh my
Whoa,
God. That's really good.
So
That's
they played the Italian
confidence
anthem.
right there.
Yeah.
I love that.
That was the first mixtape.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
That's where that sample's from. That was Hitler.
Oh God.
By 1940, racing at the Nürburgring came to a full stop. World War II consumed the continent, and the ring, like so much of Europe, fell silent. During the war years, the Nürburgring's grandstands stood empty, its paddocks converted into a military hospital and command post. The sports hotel Tribune became a Nazi division headquarters, treating wounded soldiers where pit crews once tuned race cars. On March 8th, 1945, just one day after Allied forces took the Remagen Bridge, American tanks rolled onto the Nürburgring. A German command post near the start-finish line was shelled and overrun, and U.S. troops soon used sections of the track itself to move their heavy armor forward. By nightfall, the entire circuit was under Allied control.
And then they set up a drag strip.
Just tank races.
The war had left its mark. The Grandstand Hotel was badly damaged. One of the circuit's main administrative buildings was lost in a fire during the occupation. When Nazi Germany fell in May, so did the Nürburgring's corporate leadership. By March 1946, the Allied Control Board had placed the property into receivership, and management fell to local authorities. In August of 1947, just 2 years after the war ended, motorsport made its triumphant return. That summer, tens of thousands of fans packed the Südschleife, many of them drawn not just by the sounds of engines, but by the simple joys of post-war life. Admission came with sausages, potato salad, rolls, and wine. The cars...
The good old days, man.
Yeah. You pay like 20 cents and you get a bottle of wine, a sausage.
The cars were basic, and the track was bruised, but the Nürburgring was alive again. By 1948, reconstruction work began, and slowly the track was brought back to life. But it wasn't an immediate return to glory. In the early post-war years, Allied occupation forces barred Germany from competing in international motorsport. National races resumed, but the Nürburgring remained absent from the world stage. After a 5-year hiatus, the circuit finally welcomed back Grand Prix racing, ushering in a new chapter for the ring, one no longer overshadowed by war, but fueled by speed.
We'll be right back after these messages. This is an ad by BetterHelp. With the information overload you find on the internet about mental health and wellness, it can be a real struggle to know what's true and what actions to take these days. Using trusted resources and talking to live therapists can get you personalized recommendations and help you break through the noise. It's super important to get help. I think everyone should try therapy at some point in their life if they haven't already. It's super beneficial just talking to someone. And I think if you've never done therapy before, if you're scared or whatever, there's no shame. And I think BetterHelp is a good way to get into it if you've never done it before. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. And it works. With an App Store rating of 4.9 out of 5 based on over 1.7 million client reviews. It's convenient too. Plus, switch therapists at any time. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/passgas. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/passgas.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check your parking brake is off first before pulling out of the driveway. You're gunning it, trying to make it to work on time, but something's wrong. You get out and check under the hood, you try again, the whole car's vibrating, and it smells bad. You left the parking brake on. Total amateur move. Checking first is smart, so check Allstate first for a quote that can save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Now back to the show.
Do you think guys are attracted to cars like they are to women?
What? I'm not.
No, I'm
No, you know, like,
I don't know. You maybe clarify that.
because you know, like
like when you see a
cars-
car driving by and you get a big old boner.
No, I just think the way that guys talk about cars when they're like, oh, and the sexy lines and the swoops and the curves and then they'll put like, in the at old car shows they put like a bikini model next to it.
Sure.
And it just feels like they're kind of equating the two.
I think it's more the other way, where we look at things like a car or a building or a painting or a sculpture and can feel that sense of beauty because we treat it as an object. Men then do the same thing to a woman as opposed.
So it's the other way.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't think that car designers
I think I'm not
look at it like a rear
I'm not
fender
like-
and they're like, this is the hip of a woman.
right. I'm not attracted to a car.
Yeah. I know. I'm not saying you
I know,
guys.
but like I'm attracted to my wife and only her. But what I'm saying is just like that's the difference of.
I mean, I think you kind of nailed it on the head, Bart. Like, certainly a lot of guys treat women like objects, and I think that's an interesting insight there. Like, transferring the same way you view objects
Right.
onto women.
Yeah.
But also, I think
we're in quotes attracted to a car because it's an aesthetic thing, and we can look at it as much as we want and put whatever our thoughts are onto it. Like, I think that's why we're attracted to cars.
I don't know. Yeah. I think it also it's not just cars either. Like, you go on like guitar forums, guitar subreddits, and the guy's like, hey, look at this new sexy little number I got, and it's like a Les Paul, and you're like, okay, it's not even that hot.
It's like a 6 in LA. That's a good point, Bart.
Wow, shit. Nice job,
I was just
Bart.
thinking about that on the way to work this morning.
Why you're so attracted to cars?
No.
Sexually?
No, I just like, it's just such like a macho car guy thing to
I agree. I do think
describe
it's
a car
one
like
of,
a woman.
I hate it.
Yeah, I hate it too.
Yeah, like it's very prevalent when men talk about cars to talk about it like that. Yeah, and I just think I'm like, it's a car.
Cars today aren't very curvy, are they? They're very pointy and stuff.
There's a boxiness coming back. Right
yeah, and that's due largely to CrossFit.
You think so? I was like, let's follow this for a second.
I mean, we'll do you think we're gonna see like fake veins on cars?
Oh, good God!
You know, like not
what
like
are we talking about?
like on fenders, like a muscular arm.
Yo, dude, why is your car so veiny, my guy? What is that? Your car's so vascular. Hey, actually, look. I feel like Dodge would do something like
yes.
that.
It's not out of the realm of possibility.
No, it's really not. It's really not like that. When they inevitably bring the Challenger back in some form, they're gonna call some line going down this like an accent line or something. It's gonna be like the new power vein.
Yeah. Or like
back to
when
the
you
70s.
when you rev it, you can see that like the fenders or the body lines tense up. That'd be kind of cool though, right? Not the veins. The veins are gross.
I'm kind of getting a little turned on.
Now I guess I do agree with you. I am attracted to automobiles.
If you think about cars like guys, it's sexy.
guys, I'm thinking about this all wrong. All right.
Sorry, that was a digression.
Well, no, because there's like I'm just thinking about. There's like there's a couple concept cars. I forget. BMW, did they make it where like instead of wheels into the fender, like the whole fender
yes.
kind of like shifts around?
It's almost like a skin.
Yeah. But I'm just imagining you use that when the gas and like veins kind of like pop out of the
it tightens up and it turns into like veins.
And they'd say it like it improves aerodynamics.
And I have a way to do it.
You have a way to do it?
You could have like
how much thought have you put into?
No, I just thought of it right now.
All right.
When you shrink wrap stuff,
okay.
you know, you can like see the outline of whatever it gets really taut. They could have kind of this anamorphic skin on the car.
Yeah.
And when you rev the engine, it could tighten against the car using a vacuum.
Okay.
And then there's, you know, hidden veins that become exposed. Let's do this, Dodge. Call me up.
We got a lot of great ideas here on Fast Gas. Hit us up. Tim Kaniskis hit Joe up.
He would love it. You kidding?
The power vein. Dude.
Yeah. It could be the Brotherhood edition.
I agree with there would be some name because they did have the power bulge on the GNX.
Oh my god.
That's what they call it. We're so far off the Nürburgring
bulge, dude. All right. Okay. So by the early 1950s, the Nürburgring had already carved out a reputation as one of the most demanding circuits in the world, but it was only getting started. By 1953, the newly formed World Sports Car Championship chose the Nordschleife as the stage for its inaugural 1,000-kilometer endurance race.
Damn.
600 miles, baby. A year later, the ring witnessed another milestone, the Formula One debut of Mercedes-Benz's W196. Under the command of legendary team manager Alfred Neubauer and with Juan Manuel Fangio behind the wheel, Mercedes took both the German Grand Prix and the Drivers' Championship. It was a triumph watched by a lively crowd, a testament not only to Fangio's dominance, but to Germany's rekindled national spirit in the post-war era.
And potato salad was served. I do love German potato salad.
I love to wash down that potato salad with a glass of wine.
Yeah. Some strawberry wine, baby.
Strawberry wine. Sweet berry wine.
Motorsport thrived in what came to be known as the Wirtschaftswunder, or German economic miracle. Grand Prix weekends surpassed their sporting event label, becoming festivals of technology, speed, and national pride in the process. And nowhere was that spirit more alive than the 1957 German Grand Prix, where Fangio delivered one of the most storied performances in Formula One history. After a botched pit stop left him nearly a minute behind the leading Ferraris, piloted by Mike Hawthorne and Peter Collins, Fangio mounted a comeback, breaking the Nürburgring lap record 9 times in 10 laps.
Damn.
Eventually overtaking both Ferraris to seize his third and final win at the track.
Wow.
As the 1960s dawned, a new hero emerged for the German crowd, Wolfgang Grafberg von Trips.
We talked about this dude in the Phil Hill
Yes.
one because they were both Ferrari factory drivers. Kind of rivals, but different backgrounds. Phil Hill was from Santa Monica. This dude was like a count. He was like a count from old German.
I feel like
times.
being from Santa Monica is the American equivalent of being a count. From
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. With noble lineage and nerves of steel, Von Trips embodied the romantic ideal of the gentleman racer. In 1961, over 100,000 fans flooded the Eifel hillsides to see him take on Sterling Moss, two masters of their craft locked in battle on motorsport's most unforgiving stage. And that day, Moss prevailed, reminding the world that under the right conditions, there was no one better. But not even Moss could hold back what the Nürburgring truly was. The years marched on, the speeds crept higher, and the circuit's danger became impossible to ignore. Then came 1968. Jackie Stewart, Scotland's rising star, already known for his precision and poise behind the wheel, peered down from his airplane window as sheets of rain lashed the Eifel Mountains. Beside him sat Graham Hill, the dashing Londoner with a mustache as iconic as his driving style, and the only man at the time to win motorsport's Triple Crown. Looking out at the mist-shrouded circuit below, Stewart turned to Hill and said the words that would define the Nürburgring for generations. He said, "This place is a green hell."
Dun, dun, dun.
Isn't it cool? Like, that probably wasn't written down for
Yeah.
many years, but just like passed on.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
how history was for so long. People were just like, don't eat that flour. That'll kill you.
It wasn't hyperbole. The ring's 170 corners, its blind crests and punishing cambers, none of it yield easily. The weather could shift in an instant. A slight miscalculation meant catastrophe. Survival was as much a part of the race as speed. But in the early 1970s, the Nürburgring was at a crossroads. Revered for its brutality and praised for its purity, the circuit also stood as a relic, a dangerously outdated monument to motorsport's past. Formula One was evolving. Safety was no longer a suggestion, it was a mandate. And if the ring wanted to remain part of Grand Prix racing, it had to evolve.
I think we saw the same thing with Le Mans at some point, right? Oh, I mean, the 1955 disaster was like the turning point where they were like, we got to make this safer.
Yeah.
Shit's getting crazy out here. We got to make this safer. Don't eat that flour. It'll kill you.
In 1970 and 71, extensive renovations began to bring the Nordschleife into the modern era, or at least a little bit closer. Some of the more infamous jumps, like those at Kesselken and Brunken, were flattened out. Trees were felled along critical stretches to improve sightlines, giving drivers a chance to see what was coming. To some purists, these changes felt like sacrilege. They were it was the water cooling of Nürburgring.
Purists are so annoying.
But even in this toned-down state, the Nürburgring remained unlike anything else in motorsport. Still long, still narrow, still terrifying.
Bart?
I'm not saying
Got anything,
anything.
Bart?
Nope, I can't think of a thing to say there.
In fact, some argued it remained the most dangerous circuit on the F1 calendar. Formula One returned in 1971, and Jackie Stewart, who had once called it the Green Hell, claimed victory in his Tyrrell. He was a vocal advocate for safety, and his win marked a symbolic triumph. Progress could be made without stripping away the sport's soul. More changes followed in the winter of 1972 and 73. New bridges at Hatzenbach and Breitscheid allowed for the full width of the track to flow underneath. No more narrow choke points that turned passing into roulette. A new entry point to the Südschleife was carved out closer to the pits, solving the bottleneck at the Südkur and making room for modern safety features like guardrails, grass verges, and runoff zones. It was a step in the right direction, but only a step. Because for all of its physical improvements, the fundamental problem still remained. This was a 14-mile track twisting through a forested mountain range. Effective marshalling was a logistical nightmare. Medical response times were measured in minutes and not seconds. When a crash happened, it wasn't always clear how quickly or even if help could arrive.
Sounds like something's going to happen.
Yeah, that's very
It's
ominous.
nuts to think about that element of it, which is not on anybody's mind anymore.
Yeah.
And I think when I picture this track in my head, it's very, there's fences, there's guardrails, there's a lot of berth on the track for you to run off and kind of still be safe. I think at this time, like, the trees were a lot closer.
They're still working on it.
Yeah. And then just the fact that they had jumps
Yeah,
that they had to
insane.
smooth out is crazy.
So crazy. There's still a
There's
I don't know what the section's called or what the turn's called, but before
look it
there's
up.
that right-hander, you're going uphill and there's a little hump there, right?
Is that
And
the
before
one
a
that
turn,
the
too.
Gran Turismo dude jumped off of or crashed on?
Remember he did the
Yeah,
launch where-
I think it was there.
Jan Mardenborough.
Oh, Jan Mardenborough's crash.
Yeah.
Despite the 17 million Deutschmark spent on safety upgrades, the writing was on the wall. The 1976 Formula One German Grand Prix would be the last ever held on the Nordschleife. That year's race on August 1st became infamous, not for the podium, but for what happened to Niki Lauda. Just weeks earlier, Lauda, then the reigning world champ and one of the most analytical minds the sport had ever seen, stood before the drivers' meeting and made an urgent plea. Cancel the race. The Nordschleife, he argued, was a relic, too long for adequate safety coverage, too narrow for error, and too dangerous in the rain. A vote was held, and Niki was outvoted. And so, ever the professional, Lauda set aside his concerns, buckled into his Ferrari 312 T2, and prepared to do battle with the green hell. On lap 2, disaster struck.
They ran out of potato salad.
Shut up. Just past the high-speed left at Exmoor, approaching Bergwick, Lauda's Ferrari twitched, veered offline, and slammed into a rock embankment. The impact tore the car apart. It ricocheted back onto the track, directly into the path of oncoming cars. In an instant, Lauda was hit by Brett Lunger's Surtees and engulfed in a fireball. For nearly a minute, he remained trapped inside the cockpit, his helmet torn off, his suit melting to his skin, until fellow drivers Arturo Mazziaro, Guy Edwards, Harold Erdl, and Lunger himself dove into the flames to pull Niki free. His lungs were scorched and his face unrecognizable. Niki was transported to the hospital where he was administered last rites. They thought this guy was going to die. But 6 weeks later, wrapped in bandages, wounds still leaking, and unable to blink properly, Lauda walked down the paddock at Monza.
Can you imagine you're like, oh, Niki, what's up? And you like shake his hand and then you just get like plasma all over your hand. That'd be so gross.
How's it going, man? Well, not great.
Yeah. How do you think?
I've been better. Been better.
I'm here though.
We'll be right back after these messages. This podcast is sponsored by Upside. One of the smartest apps you can have on your phone in 2025 is Upside. Upside gives you the power to earn more on the stuff you buy all the time. Whether you're filling up your tank, going out to eat, or shopping for groceries, the Upside app lets you earn cash back on every purchase. The free Upside app gets you cash back on daily essentials like gas, groceries, and dining. To get started, download the free Upside app. Use my promo code GAS and get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. Next, claim an offer for whatever you're buying on Upside. Then pay as usual with a credit or debit card, follow the steps in the app, and get paid. There are over 100,000 gas stations, groceries, and restaurants on the Upside app, ensuring that cashback is always just around the corner. You can earn an average of 8% on restaurant and grocery purchases. And the best part, you can even stack your Upside cash back on top of your credit and debit card rewards. Upside users are earning hundreds of dollars a year. That's probably why they have a 4.8 star rating on the App Store. Download the free Upside app and use promo code GAS to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. That's an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas using promo code GAS. This podcast is sponsored by Shopify. When you're starting a new business, you have to do literally everything by yourself. Your to-do list keeps growing every day with new tasks, and that list can easily begin to overrun your life. Finding the right tool that not only helps you out, but simplifies everything can be such a game changer. For millions of businesses, that tool is Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US. From household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. And you can get started today with your own design studio. With hundreds of ready-to-use templates, Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store to match your brand style. And best yet, Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. If you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/gas. Go to shopify.com/gas. Shopify.com/gas. Now back to the show.
The accident was a turning point. The Nürburgring's iconic layout could no longer be squared with the safety needs of top-tier motorsport. The supervisory board made the call. It was time for a new, shorter, modern track. Construction took 3 years. The new Grand Prix circuit would measure just 4.5 kilometers, which was tiny compared to the Nordschleife's 20-plus kilometer sprawl.
It's almost 5 times smaller. It's almost 1/5 the size.
It reused the start-finish straight, but little else. The rest of the track was carved fresh, with wide runoff zones, modern fencing, and a fully integrated emergency response system. Most of the old Südschleife was decommissioned. What wasn't used in the new layout was returned to the people, turned into country roads and woodland trails. The final race on the Nordschleife was a round of the Vidal Endurance Cup in October 1982. A few diehards got one last taste of the Bettenschleife at the final club event, and then it was over. The Green Hell was closed to Formula One for good. On May 2nd, 1984, the new Grand Prix track officially opened with all the pomp you'd expect. A motorsport showcase, a televised celebration, and a brand new museum honoring the ring's legacy.
And sausages.
Did we mention pomp?
And in the inaugural race, a one-make showdown between identical Mercedes-Benz 190E 2.316 touring cars. 20 drivers took the grid, including 9 former F1 world champions. The winner of that event was a relatively unknown Brazilian named Ayrton Senna. Formula made its return to the Nürburgring on October 7th, 1984, this time on the new Grand Prix track. Gone were the blind corners, the trees brushing your mirrors, and the endless twisting miles of the Nordschleife. In their place, a sleek modern course designed for the turbocharged precision of the new F1 era. Alain Prost, behind the wheel of a McLaren, took the checkered flag and brought the Nürburgring back to the world stage. But this time, it wasn't just the turbo V6s that were singing. From May 25th to 26th, 1985, the Nürburgring hosted the first Rock am Ring Music Festival, drawing 75,000 people to the infield. U2 and Joe Cocker played. Hell yeah, dude. German rock legend Marius Müller-Westernhagen lit up the crowd.
Dude, I bet Westernhagen's set was incredible.
But the headliner was, you guessed it, David Hasselhoff.
In 1986, the very first truck Grand Prix rumbled onto the calendar. Monster rigs with thunderous diesel engines tore around the circuit to the delight of packed grandstands. It was supposed to be a novelty, but instead it became a staple, still growing strong decades later. There was like a PS2 game of this series. That you
Really?
could, yeah.
What kind of trucks do they have?
Like cab-over semi-trucks.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
I was imagining like Dodge Dakotas.
No, semi-racing. Then in 1990, the circuit itself evolved. A new link road was added just south of the Kürzenbindung, creating a layout variation known as the Mullensbachschleife, named for the nearby village of Mullenbach. It marked the first tweak to the new track, and it wouldn't be the last. October 1st, 1995, Formula One came back yet again to the Nürburgring, and this time, Germany had a local hero to root for. Michael Schumacher, driving with icy precision and ruthless determination, became the first German driver to win a Formula One race at the Nürburgring. Wow, that's a stat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Clinching the world championship title in front of a home crowd. Wow.
that's sick.
That's cool.
That would have been cool. They definitely have the national anthem teed up for that.
Meanwhile, the Nürburgring had already been home to another iconic racing series, the German Touring Car Championship.
Yes.
Between 1984 and 1996, DTM, as it was called, was a sensation, bumper-to-bumper racing with monstrous sedans, wildly popular with fans across the country.
When you mentioned the 190Es, I was like waiting for this part. For like 6 months, I was looking for 190E so I could make like a fake Cosworth.
But by the late 90s, Joe, manufacturer support waned and the series folded.
No!
In 2000, DTM was reborn, the M now standing for Masters. It came roaring back to the Eifel with a vengeance, and it's been part of the Nürburgring's calendar ever since. That same year, a piece of history disappeared. The old start-finish house, pit building, and Conti Tower were torn down, and in their place, sleek new VIP lounges and a new start-finish complex.
And a Starbucks.
And a Starbucks.
Starbucks.
The Grand Prix layout got a bold new feature as well.
Starbuchsschleife.
It's a 1.1 kilometer loop with a drive-through.
It's a drive-through. You just pick up a cup of coffee on the Starbuchsschleife.
The Grand Prix layout got a bold new feature as well, the Mercedes Arena. By the 2001 European Grand Prix, the Nürburgring had completed its transformation into one of the most modern circuits in Europe, stretching 5.148 kilometers of fast-flowing tarmac. Schumacher would go on to win at the Nürburgring 4 more times in 2000, 2001, 2004, and for the last time in 2006, 5 total victories on home soil, 5 moments of legend. During the summer of 2007, Schumacher was forever immortalized at Nürburgring through the
Because he hadn't been already.
Yeah, through the naming of the left-right turn combination that follows the Dunlop chicane. To this day, it's been known as the Michael Schumacher S. The fall of that same year, construction crews broke ground on what was supposed to be the Nürburgring's next big chapter, a full-blown entertainment empire, a multifunctional business and event complex complete with hotels, restaurants, and retail. It was racing meets resort. The track itself wasn't touched, of course, but what popped up behind the main grandstand was a little unexpected. In 2009, Nürburgring unveiled its boldest and most controversial feature, a leisure park and shopping center, headlined by the Ring Racer roller coaster. Built to simulate the launch of a Formula One car, it promised to fire passengers from 0 to 217 kilometers an hour or 135 miles per hour in just 2.5 seconds.
Oh my God, you're going to kill people.
A series of explosions during testing
At least they tested it.
injured several people and delayed the opening by years. And when the coaster finally ran in 2013, it only lasted a few months before being shut down again.
Hey, I got these early access tickets to this roller coaster.
It's not done yet.
You got to wear like this dummy suit for some reason.
By 2014, the Nürburgring announced the ride was permanently closed. But if you visit today, you can still see it, silent, towering above the grandstands.
There's a roller coaster in Japan that people flock to. Because it's the slowest roller coaster in the world. And there was one time the roller coaster malfunctioned and stopped, but it was so slow, the people on the roller coaster didn't know that it had. Oh my God.
That sounds like a roller coaster my wife would like.
I mean, people ride it.
Yeah.
Originally pitched as a privately funded project, the whole expansion endeavor spiraled out of control. At one point, the regional government had to step in with 350 million euros of public money when backers ran out of cash. By the end of 2012, the Nürburgring was bankrupt. The place that had hosted legends was up for sale. Right around this time, Hollywood took interest in the track's legacy. As the Ring Racer was just beginning its short-lived run, Ron Howard's Rush hit theaters, dramaticizing the 1976 Formula One season and Niki Lauda's firing Nordschleife crash while utilizing the actual location where the accident took place.
Oh, I didn't know that.
With it brought renewed attention and reverence to the ring. In March of 2014, after months of speculation, a buyer was announced. The German-based Capricorn Group, along with racing outfit Get Speed, acquired the Nürburgring for 100 million euros. The deal included the new Grand Prix track, the Nordschleife, the hotels, the shopping boulevard, everything.
Even Ring Racer?
Even Ring Racer. But Capricorn wasn't some faceless investor. They already had boots on the ground. An automotive supplier headquartered in Dusseldorf, they made engine components at the ring.
Are you sure whenever we're talking about German racing, let's try to avoid using the phrase boots on the ground?
Yeah. They employed over 350 people, 100 of them right at a factory on site. By 2015, the Nürburgring had a new caretaker. The track had weathered wars, bankruptcies, and bankrupt ideas, but it kept on rolling, just like Limp Bizkit, because no matter what you built around it, the drive was still the main attraction. Unfortunately for the track, the 2015 season began in tragedy. During the opening round of the VLN Endurance Championship, disaster struck at the Flugplatz section of the Nordschleife. Jan Martinborough's Nissan GTR GT3 hit a crest, took flight, and somersaulted into a spectator area. One fan died from their injuries and several others were hurt. The crash rattled the motorsport world. Within days, the DMSB, Germany's motorsport authority, suspended the Nordschleife's racing license for its fastest classes, SP7, SP8, SP9, SP10, and SPX. Top-tier GT3 racing on the Green Hell was put on pause. It wasn't long before the license was reinstated, but with strict new rules. Slow zones were introduced at dangerous sections like Flugplatz. It was a warning. Even with 21st century tech, the ring could still bite.
I feel like they should have seen this coming since Flugplatz means airport.
Oh. Well,
right?
I don't know.
No, I know. I'm not asking you if it means. I know it means.
Oh, okay.
But like, if you know that people catch air there, maybe you should flatten
They
it out a
called it the
little bit.
Flugplatz.
by 2016, upgrades rolled in. Quedlinburger Höhe and Flugplatz were resurfaced to reduce the airborne moments that made the track infamous. Spectator areas were redesigned, repositioned, and reinforced. What followed was an era of speed and record lap times never seen before. In 2018, Timo Bernhard, behind the wheel of a Porsche 919 Hybrid Evo, obliterated the lap record with a time of 5 minutes 19.55 seconds.
That's crazy.
That was basically their Le Mans car.
Yes.
With like less aero and less, they like didn't have to abide by any rules.
Yeah, this was the non-production car, non-street legal classification of the records.
Okay, I see.
But yeah, that time is insane.
Yeah, it's insane. Setting the record for non-road legal, non-production cars. This modified Le Mans prototype was able to set the record thanks to its hybrid gas-electric system that made over 1,100 horsepower in a package that weighed less than 1,900 pounds.
Jeez.
And I think the average speed was like over 140.
Wow.
Well,
Average
it's got to be because it's a 15-mile.
Yeah.
That's nutty, dude. That's straight up coconuts, dude.
Dude, is this Reese's Pieces? Because that is nutty.
Okay. I guess because I have peanut butter in them. I would say more Snickers.
The Mounds.
Yeah.
2020 was a year of empty grandstands and rearranged calendars. Why? But when Formula One needed a circuit to plug in a gap on its COVID-shortened schedule, Nürburgring got the call. The Eiffel Grand Prix was back.
Remember how we said we hated you? What are you up to?
On October 11th, 2020.
Nürburgring, you up?
On October 11th, 2020, 20,000 lucky fans filed in, socially distanced, of course, masked and eager. They saw no action on Friday. The fog grounded the medical chopper. But come Sunday, the race ran, and Lewis Hamilton took the checkered flag.
Nice.
His win tied Michael Schumacher's all-time Grand Prix victory record at the ring. Nice.
So this is the smaller section, right? Okay.
Tourist drives and track days resumed that summer with contactless check-ins and limited capacities, proving once again that the Nürburgring is always ready to adapt. And in 2024, for the ring's 90th anniversary, the old ghosts came home. Rock Am Ring returned with a vengeance. Headlined
Hosier.
Headlined by Die Totenhosen, whose frontman calls the ring, quote, his living room, along with Rammstein, System of a Down, and a wall of other bands.
That's pretty sick. They turned into like a metal concert.
That's pretty tight, dude.
Yeah.
No, Rock Am Ring's like pretty legit when it comes to the
I
lineup.
didn't.
Yeah.
I had never heard of it before.
Yeah.
But listening to the Toxicity while seeing like a Toyota Yaris scream past you.
System of a Down is so funny because like Serge Tankian is like he's a man of principles. I would say his lyrics obviously very political, but then Darren Malakian, the guitarist, is like, I don't think our band's political.
The guitar's not.
No. The guitar's not political.
The guitar's pretty apolitical.
His little rat tail beard is not political.
It's so funny. They're a hilarious band. Shouts out to the POD cast, dude, for more new metal history. It's one of my favorite podcasts. The Nürburgring has endured nearly a century of change. Political regimes, economic crashes, safety overhauls, corporate collapses, and cultural reinventions. And yet, it remains one of the most important circuits in motorsport history. Manufacturers still bring their latest machines here for validation. Tourists still wait in line to experience a single lap. Records are broken, rebuilt, and broken again. For many, driving the Nordschleife is not about speed, but standing on the same tarmac where legends raced, crashed, and returned. The circuit doesn't flatter. It doesn't forget. Every bump, corner, and crest demands attention. That's why it matters. Not because it's perfect, but because it isn't. Whoa.
Nice.
Dang, dude.
That's a nice track.
Did you guys see the Porsche crash into that BMW?
Dude, it's insane. I mean, it's kind of on both of them. So have you seen this video?
Show me.
Okay.
Sorry.
For our listeners who cannot see video right now, there was a crash.
Like
maybe,
a couple days ago. I think it was like this weekend.
It's a Porsche 911. I want to say coming up on like a BMW 3 or 4 series.
M2.
Oh, M2.
Passing gets pit maneuvered into a barrier there.
Yeah.
Well, he got. Yeah, that's on the BMW pretty exclusively.
So?
Yeah.
There's a lot. That's what I thought at first.
I'm looking on. There's the turn. He's. Yeah, from that it's tricky because the camera's in the car.
I know.
So it looks like it overtook, but I can't tell. Can you show me the other one? Because then you see the reverse angle.
Yeah. Okay.
I just want to, but the reverse angle doesn't show you the actual point of contact.
So look, he moves away.
Right.
So then the Porsche. Okay, so initially I was like, it's on the BMW.
But the BMW moved to get a better line.
Yeah.
And the Porsche then started to overtake the inside.
Yeah. So then I think it's on both of them because it's a toll road. You have beginners.
Mm-hmm.
You can't trust that on like one of the more narrow curves, even if he's moving away, like you can't trust that he's letting you pass.
Right. But
so it sucks for both of them, but they're all
you're
right.
saying you have to, it's just like driving every day. You have to assume everybody else
defensive.
Is an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy crash, man. But luckily both of them are all right. That is our episode on the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Thank you so much for listening. Follow Bart at BidsBardo on social media. Follow me at Nolan J. Sykes. Follow Joe at Joe G. Weber. Big thank you to Audrey behind the camera and Edgar, wherever he's at right now. And our writer this week,
Anthony Harden Jr., big dude on my baseball team.
Big dude, big script.
Big script. This guy scripts.
That was a great one. That was a lot of fun, guys. Fun recording with you guys. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a nice review or some constructive criticism on the platform of your choosing. We always appreciate it. We will see you next week.
Until next time, stay attractive, cars.